Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm doing a good old-fashioned makeup tutorial, which I haven't done in a hot minute. So today I'm going to show you guys how to do this festive, like very easy glam look. It uses minimal products. Whatever you have in your makeup bag will probably work to achieve this look. I really only use like one palette for my entire face. I haven't done one of these in a while and I really missed it, so I'm happy to be here. I said that weird. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm gonna stop rambling and let's get into it. All right, coming at you fresh face. I haven't done this in a while. I'm gonna go in with the Rare Beauty primer, which is the primer that I have been using. I used to use Becca Backlight primer a lot, and then as you may know, Becca no longer exists, RIP Becca. And I found that Rare Beauty is such a good dupe for the Becca Backlight Primer. They especially have one, I don't remember the name of it. I'm using like the pore filling one right now, but there is another one. I should probably remember the names before I start recording. But it has a little bit of a speckle to it, which is what reminds me of the Becca Backlight Primer. So I will link those two down below in the description box if you want to check them out. This is not sponsored by Rare Beauty at all. I mean, Selena Gomez, if you want to sponsor me, I wouldn't mind it. All right, so next we're gonna go in with the Rare Beauty foundation, and this is in the shade 160C. I recently went out and got a shade that matches better to my skin tone because I was still using one from the summertime that was looking a little too orange on me. But now I feel like I'm so pale with this one. I don't know, I go back and forth between liking my pale skin and hating it. With a nice dark, lip, I can't talk. In the wintertime, it looks really cool and like almost witchy. But I also love a good tan, you know? So I'm just going in with my Moist Beauty Blender and I am blending this out. I said Moist Beauty Blender earlier. I truly apologize to everybody for saying that word because it is a disgusting word. It is a damp beauty blender. We will continue to call it a damp beauty blender from here on out. Next, I'm gonna go in with Rare Beauty Concealer, and this is in the shade 140C. So I did get like one shade below, one or two shades below the shade of my foundation. So this is really pale, but I'm also really pale, so it's all good. Not putting too much on, just kind of giving myself a bit of a facelift with my concealer. And usually with my makeup looks, I'll go in with, I have hair on my face. Usually I'll go in with my eyeshadow first, but since this is gonna be like just a really easy, low-key look, I'm not really gonna go in with eyeshadow first because it's not gonna be a heavy eyeshadow look. It's gonna be like really just glittery and sparkly and holiday, festive, and yeah. To set my face today, I'm gonna go in with the Milk Makeup Blur and Set Translucent Powder. And I always, I love this powder, but I hate the packaging because it comes with this mesh that I don't really know how to use, so I always just kind of rip a hole in it, and then I'll just stick my beauty blender in, and I find that works better for me. So just gonna kind of dip my beauty blender in there, tap off any excess, and just kind of like pat it under my eyes, just so I'm really setting that makeup in there and it's not creasing. And then you can also do your eyelids. I also like to take a little bit of powder and just kind of press it onto my forehead area and anywhere that I might see that I'm developing some fine lines, just to kind of fill them in, blur that out. I really do love this powder because I do find that it does have really good blurring properties. So I think it's the mica in it that just really helps blur everything out. I do have a very normal skin type, so I'm not too oily, I'm not too dry. So I do find that this technique does kind of work really well on me, but I don't know, somebody with dry skin might not like this as much, so I guess use in your own discretion. Maybe try a little patch of skin, and then if it's not really sitting well, then maybe just kind of skip that. All right, now it is time to contour, and I'm going in with the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm gonna go in with the lightest shade, which is Subconscious, and I'm just gonna go in with a fat brush. What brush do I wanna use? Now I'll use like a smaller brush just so I have a little more like control. So just gonna dip that in there. And then with contour, I wanna start like right at the cheekbone over here. Just kind of make a little line and then go up with it. Because if you're gonna go down, you're gonna drag your entire face down, and you wanna give your face that like lifted effect. Once I've blended on my cheek, I like to kind of bring it up my hairline and make a C shape around my, what's it called? What's this called? An eyebrow. I like to make a C shape around my eyebrow just to kind of make it look a little more natural so that the color is not just stopping abruptly. So I'm just gonna keep kind of blending this out, playing with it, not putting anything more on my brush, just to make sure that pigment is really just kind of blending into the areas that I'm putting it in and looks very seamless. I should not have my jewelry on right now, but I haven't taken this off since I got it. These pieces are from Ana Luisa. So Ana Luisa is a high quality sustainable line. They are gifted, but I am obsessed with them. I have very sensitive ears, and the fact that I'm able to wear these earrings for as long as I have been says a lot, because a lot of earrings, even high quality earrings that I've gotten at different high-end stores, leave my ears very infected. So the fact that I can wear this around and I'm not in any pain at all, and they're such cute pieces, I'm thrilled about. So if you want to check them out, they use recycled materials to create their pieces, so you can feel good about the jewelry that you're wearing, which helps them produce higher quality pieces at an affordable price point, and who doesn't love that? Also, they're currently running their biggest sale of the year, which is like up to 10% off last chance items, which adds up to about 60% off, so it is a great sale. You can check out my affiliate link down below in the description box to learn more about Ana Luisa and the amazing sustainable pieces that they have. If you do find that you dragged it down too low, no worries at all. I'll show you how to fix that a little later. But right now, we're just gonna focus on putting that shade right where we want it. If you find that you have like a bigger forehead, you can bring the shade all the way up to here and just kind of like frame your face. You're gonna do the other side so that C shape can kind of connect. I have a smaller forehead, so I don't really want to close it in anymore. So I'm just gonna kind of stay on the outside with that. If you're confused about which contour to get and you're at the store and you don't know the difference between like a bronzer or a contour, the thing is, if something says contour on it, it's because it has more of a gray undertone to it. And that gray undertone is what's gonna play with the shadows and like the light and shadows on your face to kind of make the illusion of different shapes on your face. Whereas a bronzer has more of an orangey undertone, it's gonna give you that sun-kissed look. I've used bronzer before if I haven't had a contour palette with me. I've used bronzer before to contour, but you're gonna get a different effect. You're gonna have that sun-kissed effect, whereas the contour is gonna give you that contouring effect with the grays and like the lights and the shadows, and you know what I mean. Once you've done the cheekbone area, I like to put a little more on my brush, and I like to go around my jawline. This is so that you don't look like you're wearing a mask. You know when you go out and you see somebody and their makeup just kind of stops right here and you're like, oh, what happened there? So this is gonna make everything look natural and like blend into itself. So I like to go around my jawline, bring it down my neck, bring it down to my chest, and just kind of make sure it's all blending in so I don't look like I'm wearing a mask. So now that I have that contour on, I'm actually gonna go in with the shade beside the shade that I just used, which is called Shadow Play. Can't talk right now for some reason. And I'm gonna do exactly what I did before. I'm just kind of layering those shades on top of each other. I don't wanna go in with that darker shade first because that's gonna be such a stark difference. I wanna kind of build it up, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna go in with a lighter shade and then kind of top it up with the darker shade exactly where I put that previous shade. So that C shape around both eyes, my jawline. Then afterwards, we're gonna contour our nose because who doesn't like to do that? So if you feel like you came down a little too low with your contour, or you feel like you wanna just kind of lift it up a little more, I like to take just a tiny bit of concealer and create a line right underneath on both sides. And then with my beauty blender, I'm just gonna kind of blend it in this area just to really sculpt that shape of the contour without baking, because baking can come off really stark sometimes. So this is gonna give you more of a natural look that baking doesn't always give you. All right, looking good, looking good. So now we're gonna go in with the nose contour, which is my favorite part. So I'm gonna go in with, what brush am I gonna use? I'm gonna go in with this contouring brush that I stole from my friend, and she saw me use it on a YouTube video, and she said, I've been looking for that. And I said, I have it. So I'm gonna use this. Still haven't given it back. All right, so I'm gonna use the fatter end. I don't even know. I think this is like a Urban Decay brush. I don't know. I'm gonna go in with that lighter shade. I'm not gonna do the darker shade on my nose because I want it to blend in nicer, and it could be very abrupt if you have like two very dark shades on your nose. So I'm just gonna go in and kind of create a line on either side of my nose. So covering the tip of your nose helps create that cute, like turned up nose effect. So we're just gonna kind of connect the two lines over here. And then I'm gonna take a smaller brush and I'm just gonna ever so lightly just blend this out. Once I've blended it, I'm gonna go in with that Beauty Blender and I'm gonna dip it back into the Blur and Set powder. And I'm gonna create a line on either side of my nose. And I'm just gonna let that sit for a few minutes. I'm gonna do my eye makeup and I'm gonna let that sit for a few minutes so that it could really bake and get in there. So for eyes, I don't wanna go in with anything crazy because we are gonna keep this kind of simple and we're gonna use minimal products. So I'm gonna go right back in with that Shade Light palette. And I'm gonna go back in with that lighter shade, which I should probably stop using because I hit pan already. So when you are doing your eyeshadow, if you want to keep it light, you're going to want to hold your brush at the very end of the brush. So you're going to get like the lightest amount of pigment on there. The closer that you hold it to the top of the brush, the more of like a deeper effect you're going to get. So right now we're just going to kind of keep it light, hold the brush at the very end and just kind of get that pigment on there, lay it on there, just kind of start to create that definition. And as I kind of bring that shade into my inner corner, because I don't want much pigment there, I am holding my brush like at the very, very end, just so I can make sure that, first of all, it's all blending, and second of all, I'm not getting too deep in there. Next, I'm gonna go in with a crease brush, and a crease brush is just kind of like a smaller brush that has like a more of a nubby end. I also like to call it a bullet brush. I don't know why, but this one's from Morphe, and I don't know which one it is because I've had it for so long that the numbers are worn off. So I'm actually gonna go in with that second shade, or should we go, let's go in with the deeper shade. This one's not getting a lot of love. So I'm gonna go in with that deeper shade. I'm gonna tap off any excess, and I'm gonna start stamping this right along my lash line. This is gonna create a little more definition without being too stark. And then with a fluffy brush, I'm just gonna kinda buff it out, going towards the outside. See how it's like super subtle, but this eye does have a bit more of that definition. So we're gonna go in and do the same thing on the other side. All right, so I'm gonna leave eyeshadow here. I don't wanna go any further with eyeshadow, just kind of making sure that everything is blended out nicely. We're not seeing any harsh lines. Everything's soft. Everything looks seamless. So we're gonna go in next with the Jaclyn Hill Loose Glimmer Powder in the shade All Lit Up. This is from her limited edition Valentine's Day collection, and I have to say everything in this collection I have been loving. This is like a white powder. I'm trying to like not let it fall over, but gorgeous. Super nice for the holidays. So I'm gonna go in, I just got that everywhere. I'm gonna go in with I'm trying to find a flat brush that I like. This one should be good. Just a flat brush. So I'm just gonna kind of dip my brush into here. And once I've picked up a fair amount, I'm gonna go in with my MAC Fix Plus setting spray and just kind of spray my brush. And then I'm gonna ever so gently start at the center of my lid and just kind of pat that on. So I don't want to bring that glitter to the outer corner because I want the outer corner to stay kind of smoked out. I'm just going to kind of focus on really packing that glitter right in the center of my lids. And then with my fluffy brush, I'm just gonna kind of very, very lightly blend this towards the outside so it doesn't have like a stark line of where the glitter is and then where the crease color is. Okay, so next I'm gonna do eyebrows, but eyebrows take like forever and a day to do. So I'm gonna do them off camera and I will be back in 3, 2, 1. All right, eyebrows are on and ready to go. And then next we're gonna do eyeliner, which also takes forever and a day. So I'm also gonna do that off camera. So I'm just gonna do like a very subtle wing. I'm gonna start, you know what? I'll do it on camera. I'll do one eye on camera and I'll do the other eye off camera. So for eyeliner, I'm going in with the MAC Black Track Pro Longwear Fluidline, the one in the pot, which I never used the pot eyeliner before, but now I don't think I'll ever not use it just because I feel like it's a better deal for your dollar. And I'm gonna go in with the MAC 263 eyeliner brush. And then I'm just gonna dip that in there, but I'm really just gonna kind of wipe off the excess on the sides of the pot, just so I'm not picking up too much on my brush. I wanna keep the line very, very like fine and subtle. Like sometimes I can get a really nice fine line and other times it just gets like very overboard. So okay, I'll start with this eye. I wanted to talk through that, but I was so laser focused on getting it done. Okay, I'm gonna do the other eye and I'll be right back. Once the eyeliner's on, I like to take a little bit of black eyeshadow on a small brush and just kind of like go over it just to make the eyeliner look a little softer. Be careful though, because you could get fallout, which I just got. Which is why I use like a precise brush, but I'm being sloppy because I literally have an appointment that I have to go to like in 5 minutes and I'm running very late. All right, now that the eyeliner is on, I'm gonna wipe the bake off before I put mascara on, just in case my brush bumps that mascara and I get it everywhere. So I'm just gonna wipe this off, bring it towards the outside of my face, try to get rid of the little fallout that I got there. With a fluffy brush, I'm gonna go into that lighter shade in my Shade Light palette again. And I'm gonna buff out my lower lash line, but I'm not gonna bring it in too much, just kind of make sure everything is blending out. A little bit of mascara. Today I'm using the Lancome Waterproof Monsure Big Mascara. Next I'm gonna go in with the Lauren Conrad Lip and Cheek Tint, and I'm actually gonna use my Beauty Blender for this because I feel like it gives it such a beautiful finish. And I'm just gonna kind of stamp that onto my upper like cheekbone area. Then with a fan brush, I'm gonna take a little bit of that Jaclyn Hill glitter that I used on my eyelids, and I'm just gonna kind of fan it onto my cheekbones, like ever so slightly, just so I have like a little bit of that sparkle. It'll like catch the light. And then I'm gonna go in with my favorite red lipstick in the whole world. This is NARS Cruella, the lip crayon. I got this as a gift, like a birthday gift at Sephora a few years ago, and it has been my favorite red lip ever since. And that's it. That is my like super easy, super like low-key glam holiday look. And I think that's what I'm gonna call it because it's like, I really only used one palette, like the Shade Light palette. You really don't have to put the black over the eyeliner if you don't want to. So if you only have like one palette with you, if you're out of town, whatever it may be, if you have that one palette with you, you can make it work for your face and for your eyes and all that good stuff. So I hope you guys like this makeup look. If you did, let me know in the comments. If you try out this makeup look, make sure to tag me on Instagram. My handle is @Layan Bee. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you want to check out Ana Luisa jewelry, that link will be down below in the description box. I do want to once again say that this was gifted, but I truly, truly like the pieces. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.